3, 2, 1.
Kill people, burn shit, fuck school. 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 Fucking radical, nigga. Fucking radical. Fucking radical. I'm motherfucking radical. Fucking radical, nigga.
All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to Dixieland the Proletariat. We're going to talk about Southern working class history and current events through a leftist perspective. Make sure to like us on social media at Dixieland the Proletariat, where you can or find our links at our link tree at linktree/.pro, where if you want to give your wages to a bunch of rednecks, you'll find the link to our Patreon. We got a lot of cool stuff to give you, including CDs, stickers, a cookbook, Discord server, Twitch stream, and exclusive episodes. We also have a Spotify playlist with some great artists you also check out, as well as our merch store. This podcast is brought to you by Contractional Monogamy, Therapy, Vaping, Living at Home, RB's, Kaiser Pushing White Men in the Swamp, Tommy's Non-Tactical Use of the N-Word, Nelson's Love Life, Tyler's Wild Stories, Mark's Laughter, which brings joys to the masses, and Nazis on Campus. Shout out to our Patreon subscribers. We got no new ones this week, this month, or whenever I'm doing this. Our monthly Patreon surplus goes to groups that are run by and or help marginalized people directly. As always, I'm Nelson with...
I'm frying chicken.
And I'm Mark.
I'm a semblance of a person.
And our guest this evening is...
Tiffany Trotter.
Hey, yay.
Hello, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany.
Hey, guys.
Oh, man. I probably like a more appropriate sponsor would be like anti-fascists on campus. But I guess y'all have a problem with Nazis on campus. I don't know. It can go either way.
Infestation.
An infestation. They're like cockroaches. Like they literally just come out of nowhere.
All the cracks and crevices.
Exactly. So what's going on with everyone? We haven't this is a
I thought the Soviet Union killed all the Nazis. What happened?
Well,
What
some
happened,
of them survived and they went to go work for NASA. And we have a whole episode on that too. Apparently, we were like, hey, you know, they might have done some bad things, but let's get them to build some rockets for us. And, you know, things like that happen. And then, you know, they end up in like, you know, top brass in NATO and at NASA and chilling in South America. And then, you know,
But if we let them go and build rockets, that's going to keep them occupied and keep them from committing war crimes.
it keeps their idle hands commit war crimes.
Yeah, that's the real reason why they were put in NASA.
New merch I did just dropped.
Tommy, real quick, do you want to give us an Elden Ring update?
What do you mean? I finished it. It's done.
Well, what was it like?
I finished it twice actually because it was so nice.
Let's say about the game. Give it your official out of 5 stars. What do you give it?
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
I would give it 5. I would give it 4.9 out of 5. My only issue is that it's unoptimized because From Software can't code and their frame rates are off. But outside of that, it's a brilliant game. One of the best games I've played in a while.
That's good, y'all. You'll heard it from Tommy, our gaming expert. Anyway, so what's all new with everyone else before we get into a great subject to talk about? What's up? Yeah, come on, y'all. Be lively. Okay, I'm not gonna do the whole...
Insert,
God damn it,
some
talk.
cricket noises. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just work all day, every day. That's all I do is work.
What do you do?
I am devoting my life to the trade of learning bread, all forms of bread, because bread is life. And if I can do anything in this world, it's make more bread.
What kind of bread? Like pumpernickel?
Well, this particular bread I made this weekend were yeast rolls, but I did one set of yeast rolls with like, shut up, Nelson, stop laughing at me.
I'm laughing at Tommy's just random ass bread question.
What kind of bread? You know, it's a fair question because there's all kinds of bread in the world, and it's a good and it's important question.
And most of it I can't eat or it makes my tummy upset.
What is with you? You
I
can't eat cheese. You can't eat bread. Is there anything you can eat?
Meat.
You-
My body has betrayed me.
What's up, Liver King? I didn't know you were joining us today.
Yeah, yo, what up, primals?
Tom's and Pepto Bismol is not a food group.
I'm so doing that parody of Liver King. I'm gonna do it. It's fucking perfect. And
I
I'm
need to
glad.
do a version of that meme with the my ancestors meme, where it's like my Italian ancestors when I can't eat bread and
yeah.
cheese.
Bump-
And you just fall to the ground.
I should do that.
No,
That
the
would
music
be
isn't
fuck-
lively. It's sad.
Oh,
music.
yeah,
Like sad funeral music.
the best is like when my Irish ancestors see I'm not having kids with my wide birthing hips.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean you only had 2 children? You could have had more.
What do you mean you didn't die during childbirth after having 10 kids?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Well, anyway, now that if anyone else is listening after that clusterfuck, Tiffany, you're doing God's work. And we just want to thank you. So if you could just tell us what the hell is going on, where this is going on, and what the hell is happening, because we try to tell people that the South is a changed, better place, but some assholes have decided that they liked it the old way, and we don't take too kindly to those people.
Basically, unfortunately, as much as I love spreading the message that like a lot of people in the South are like not, racist hicks who just, basically here in Mobile, Alabama, the University of South Alabama is having a rise in white supremacist activity. So, as we're becoming a bigger school,
brother.
unfortunately, as we're becoming a larger school and, getting into the SEC with football and all of that, we are joining the ranks with like Alabama and Auburn with racism too. I've been at South since 2018, so I can only speak from that point on. But since being there, we've had a huge uptick in fascist and white supremacist activity. Not so much the old-fashioned good old academic eugenics, all that, but basically like greasy hair guys that cosplay as old school fascists, if that makes sense. They like to play pretend and kind of almost like this basement D&D war game type deal. They're trying to recruit buddies essentially on campus. That's probably the only way they can recruit friends on campus.
When you say cosplay, is this like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplay? I don't know what that is.
I don't really wear that
No.
that fashion,
Oh, okay. No, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is this anime that people like, but it's a pro-fascist anime that people are really getting into, and I don't know why. I didn't know that was a part of it.
Let's see. I tried to pull up the whole dossier out of out of my files, if you will. But I guess the rundown since like 2018, we've had like an incident in which 2 nooses, along with some random student's bike, was thrown and hung from a tree near our student cafeteria. And the campus went into frenzy. And we had a faculty member, a employee representing the cafeteria where it happened. They tweeted out, I believe the same night, saying the rope outside the caf was just a sign that our food's killer. Come get some fried chicken and tell us any different. and campus.
No, hold on, wait, no, please, God, please. Oh, what?
So basically, like the whole campus Twitter turned to like a Call of Duty like server, with the typical like watermelon and fried chicken jokes. Unfortunately, from that one, they didn't identify the student, but apparently they were only put on suspension, and the perpetrator of the tweet was fired. Sent home with their final box of fried chicken. Then I could honestly scroll for a couple seconds. This is a lot. I hate to
No,
say it.
go ahead. We have plenty of time. Tell us everything, because we definitely gonna have a lot of questions like going like in and out and stuff, because the same thing happened at Auburn University not too long ago. So definitely got like some questions and some parallels, a lot of that what went on there and then what's going on in South Alabama.
Right. Okay. So let's see. Okay, that's September 2018. I'm still trying to go through now. Okay, so that was September. So going to October 2018, there is a huge increase in swastika graffiti and iconography in the Department of Jewish Studies, just like a 5-minute walk away. It lasted, I think, for a couple weeks following that. No students were apprehended, to my belief, but it did discourage a lot of faculty of Jewish descent in the building. Let's see. Then it jumps to 2019. There is a post made by a member of our LGBT student organization, posting a picture with a caption of a pamphlet for the American Identity Movement. It used to be called Identity Europa. I believe still active white supremacist group. But anywho, so these pamphlets were being distributed in the libraries, not just being passed out by somebody in person, but tucked into books and bookcases and in between study areas. In a lot of these study areas, you see it written in like pencil conspiracy theories. So instead of I guess it's like the old school version of like a chat forum where it's like, there's jokes about 9/11 and then somebody will come in and write like, was it jet fuel, the steel beams?
Yeah. It's always, they're such cowards because they'll never do this like out in public. They always do stuff like this to hide it. So that's how they were doing that, like getting pamphlets and propaganda out, just like hiding it around. Yeah, I think they were doing stuff like that at Auburn back in like a few years ago as well. So that's crazy.
Right. Let's see. So with the like increase in pamphlets around campus, the Iron March leaks, even though the website was shut down in like 2017, a lot of Antifa like networks or side organizations started to re-upload a lot of material. And unfortunately, we found several students in connection with two different organizations, Zyger and Adam Waffen. So those were, Adam Waffen in particular, I believe, has been connected to 5 murders. Primarily,
Yeah, so
I think.
yeah, so Adam Waffen is the very dangerous one. I think they might have gotten officially busted by the FBI, but they're the ones that they're connected to like 5 different murders. It's rumored that they were part of that bombing string that happened in Texas, but also they'll after 2014 they were sending members to Ukraine to fight with the Azov Battalion, which is a neo-Nazi group in Ukraine, to get battle experience. So they're like very they're like the hardcore Nazis. They believe in terrorism as a way of political gains and like racial violence. So like they're horrifying. But I think they might have been, because they're I think what do they use, their signal group or whatever got infiltrated. And I think the FBI took them down officially, quote unquote, but they may still be around. But those guys were in those, they were the hardest of the hardcore neo-Nazi groups.
Oh, fun. Yeah, because with the release of like all these conversations and internet forums, screenshots, to my knowledge, it's 3 students, but one has only been publicly identified. I can or cannot say his name. It depends. But they've basically, have shown great respect for ISIS and their tactics with the terrorism in the country. Made several statements about faculty and students on campus, big proponents of eugenics. Lots of good, wholesome American college things. So we had, and actually one of the students in our school of computing, the one that was identified, was the chapter leader for Atom Waffen. And it's been recorded that he's been, I guess, involved since 2013 and did not leave the university until I believe around 2016, 2017, but then has potentially gone back for his master's. And it's just casually around campus in the School of Computing. And then it jumps to mid 2020, which was probably around the beginning of like the Black Lives Matter movement, the resurgence of that, and all the summer of protests. Our faculty, some student anonymously re-uploaded a photo of 3 faculty members who were dressed in judicial garb as well as Confederate uniforms, holding nooses at a university-sponsored party. And it was seen taken down from Facebook quietly in mid-2020. However, due to the re-upload later that year, a lot of national outlets, ABC, everybody who loves to do the clickbaity articles, picked the story up, and it on campus, it didn't, how do I put this? It didn't result in too much. Members of the college NAACP and the Black Student Union, organized protests and demonstrations related to it, but it only resulted in these 3 professors being put on administrative leave and having an outside investigation that has not been updated since last year, I believe. So to my knowledge, they are still in limbo. Let's see. And along with mid-2020, so June, July of 2020, several students who live off campus and were searching for off-campus housing started receiving anonymous housing advertisements through text. These texts were then linked to the group Identity Europa again. So, which was interesting. The students I had that received those texts were predominantly white, and most of them identified as LGBT. So that could have potentially put them, in a dangerous situation if they further investigated the housing. And then as of February 2020, and the link that I sent you guys, we had kind of just this random increase in stickers with, various links and QR codes across campus. They'll put them in restrooms, in the weight rooms, in our gym, study areas, and residential areas. Sometimes we'll even get those stickers along with like Trump signs or whatever stuck on the doors of like students of color and known queer students in the residential halls. But most of the stickers were attached to Patriot Front, supposed to be a known white supremacist neo-fascist group as well. Some of us did a little researching because I wasn't too familiar with the group and watched part of a documentary, and most of the leadership, it was interesting hearing that rhetoric. And then, meanwhile, they have the prison tiers along with it. So it's like, they really mean business, I guess.
Yeah, they're the ones that like marching around with the stupid shields, and they wear like white like those like I don't know, those like really thin masks or whatever that cover their entire head, and they wear like khakis and blue, and they march around.
Right.
And they're the ones that got chased out of Philly like last year. I think they got beat up and chased out of Philly. But that whole like Identity Europa, they were plastering stuff I think at UAB, and the Patriot Front, we actually had one here in Montgomery. Like someone put a sticker outside of the LGBTQ community center, but it was quickly taken down. We cover it up with anti-fascist stickers. But like it seems to be like a running thing is that they love stickers and they love to recruit in secret. That whole like the text thing was weird because that means that they somehow got these people's information when it comes to like sending out text messages. And that's kind of disturbing because if you can get someone's phone number, you can get their address and everything else.
Right.
But I guess like the next question is what like who on campus is actively combating this? Like who are the main people like that are organizations working against the fascists that are now on campus?
So primarily it's been members of our college Democrats. I'm currently the acting president. So it's been a mixture of us. A lot of students who represent the political science department. So it's kind of just this mosh podge group of, leftist students essentially. We've made some attempts in the past to, inform more so, what is it referred to? The Panhellenic, the interfraternal Greeks, I hate the white Greek organizations, but those are the ones who usually sing Confederate songs during their hazing and whatnot.
Yeah.
So we've tried to, throughout the years, if we know any brothers in the organizations, to just inform them of that type of activity. If there's any known, like, still antebellum traditions, we try to discourage that activity. But of course, tradition. We, in the past 2 years, I want to say, especially now with the appointment of our new president, former Chief of Staff Joe Bonner, we've tried to ramp up activity as far as discussing racism and anti-Semitism and just so many different issues on campus. But unfortunately, to save face, the administration, will suppress activity. If there's anything reported to campus police, it's not publicized campus-wide. It's quickly just reported and the book's closed. There's, of course, with, in between the years with a lot of controversial things, the stuff that Facebook people love to argue about, the costumes and the more so petty gestures to me, those usually just result in a change.org petition that might, garner thousands of signatures, but again, is quickly suppressed by the administration. So there's been effort, but the administration just quickly likes to close it and then ramp up their diversity, equity, and inclusion, because that's the trend now. Corporations love to say they're so diverse and in the know and all that. So they might have a poetry slam to to satisfy the Black students, even though our teachers are dressing up like Confederate soldiers.
That actually answered the question I wanted to ask, which was, what was the administration doing, if anything, to go and help? And it sounds like the answer is fuck all.
Basically,
Time out real quick. They had a slam poet. Did they really do a slam poetry event to try to pacify the Black student union? Oh my God.
This was like post 2020, early 2021. So this was probably the most vocal time of the Black student population, and our school paid some local radio hosts to have a poetry slam.
Man, I heard some slam poetry the other day. I felt it deep in my womb lands. I can tell you that.
That is just like that is exactly what I would expect from like a school administration, like this bullshit response. Oh yeah, we have like some of the most violent fascist organizations trying to recruit on campus. Let's have a slam poetry night to try to pacify the Black student union so they don't do anything. It was like,
We can defeat racism through poetry. Yay!
Either that or, the zillion panels on race relations that the faculty love to do to fulfill their quota with the state. It got so bad to a point when all of that was happening, each time our faculty tried to have panels, even with student leadership, they would have to essentially mute the Zoom participants and often block out the type conversation because so many questions they just wanted to avoid. But yeah, essentially they tried to just please the students of color on campus with slam poetry and sipping paints, because apparently Black kids love sipping paint with hip hop in the background.
I mean, I already knew that. Tommy told me about that, so I've been known that, so that's good.
White people do this. Black people do that.
Tiffany, I guess the next question I have is, I guess is also if it hasn't happened, then I guess it's your opinion, but like, do you feel that these fascist organizations that are recruiting, do you feel that they're going to be emboldened and empowered to like actually start committing physical acts of violence? It seems like the run up, like it seems like it's building up, like the symbolism, the words, the language, the recruitment, the stickers, the flyers, and like the next step is to them perpetuating like some sort of like a physical assault on somebody or a group of people. Like, is that like does anyone else on campus like think that, or is there like a fear of this, or like
as far as being a Black student on a campus, there's not yet that immediate fear of like physical harm for most of the students of color. Mainly any like physical or verbal incidents that have happened have been towards which could include students of color, but the LGBT community and specifically like, trans students, which seem to be kind of the target of most of these fascist leaning students trying to recruit on campus. So it's more so the LGBT community on campus, more so fearing for their physical safety as they navigate through campus. Not necessarily related to the increase of fascist activity, but we've been getting an uptick again. It paused for about a year or so, but we've had an influx of I guess evangelical pastors visiting campus and using the free speech loophole to basically heckle students, which unfortunately for college campuses is a normal occurrence. But
they would do that shit at Troy all the time. I remember the first of the semester they would hand out psalms, like psalm books.
Yeah,
and then they would have the street preachers would come, and the quote unquote free speech zone was this amphitheater next to the student center, but then it got bulldozed over, so they didn't really know where the free speech center was, so you would just see them randomly throughout campus. And it was they had the stupid sign, and they had like, you're gonna go to hell if you blah, all the cool things, like basically if you're a cool person you're gonna go to hell. So, and then they're saying the bullshit, and it's so like it's a joke and it's funny and it's haha until like people start like believing that, and then like it just emboldens and empowers people who believe that stuff to start acting on it. And it got to the point where like the Spectrum Alliance was trying to have a meeting one time outside, and just so happened like the Baptist Campus Ministries people were having an outdoor prayer thing that they just scheduled with music and everything to try to drown out the Gay Straight Alliance, the Spectrum Alliance that they had at Troy at the time. So like it's, I guess my next question would be like when it comes to like the street preachers and the crazies like that, but like what are good, because I know every college has one. What are the good old campus Republicans, college Republicans? What do they have to say about this? Have they said anything about their good friends? I mean, members. I mean, people that they want to distance themselves from, quote unquote.
Right.
The fascists.
If anything, I honestly have a tiny bit of pity for the college Republicans. We've as a representative of the college Democrats, we've spent probably the past 5 years trying to communicate with them. And as each group of students cycles through, they actively dodge texts and emails, even through faculty connections. Probably their only highlight as a student organization has been during the summer of 2020. They tried to make some official statement with the local media stating that during our search for president, a big point of contention was that many left-leaning students did not want our former chief of staff as president due to his voting history and lack of an academic and professional record. So, the college Republicans, in a very vague, I would say slightly uneducated statement presented to the local press, said that they wanted a president that could look at both sides and did not want it to be influenced by any political figures or social movements on campus. And essentially, I reposted it on my my personal organizational account for a side project, and essentially the whole campus shit on them. Yeah, they to my knowledge only have maybe 15 members on campus, with most of them being retired military. And during the COVID pandemic, they managed to have their conversations leaked about students in the college Republicans forging vaccine cards because they were afraid that they would be barred from campus if they refused to get their vaccination. Meanwhile, this was very, very early in the stages of vaccination development.
Hold up.
So they were sharing these printed templates and sharing lamination plugs on how to forge COVID vaccine cards, and immediately were reported to our College of Medicine.
Oh my God.
So that's what they've been up to. Also, their funding has been cut from the university, so their only accomplishment is that they recruit members of our board of trustees for private donations to travel to Washington. That has been it, to my knowledge.
So at Auburn, when all this was going on with Richard Spencer coming to campus, et cetera, whatnot, there was an underground organization, like the White Student Union. And I don't know if I think their information got leaked. I'm not so sure, this was a while ago, but they were trying to be a legitimate organization on campus. And I don't know if they had a faculty advisor or they were trying to get one. It was some crazy shit. But I guess is there any, I don't know. Is there anything, have you noticed anything like that on campus? Kind of trying to copy what Auburn did? Is there any sort of anything like that? Or does it just seem like it's just different fascist organizations like Patriots Front, American Identity, like just poking around doing stuff? Or do you think that there's like a cohesive unit?
I would say as of now, it hasn't been so cohesive to just say there's a full on maybe movement on campus of activity, but it's definitely almost getting there. Besides student activity, we haven't had anyone as bold as to start a white student union. We've definitely had organizations pop up every couple months or every couple years or so with what is it called? The free speech movement, the First Amendment Club, or something like that, where they would make this huge installation in the center of campus with a giant inflatable word ball. And
the inflatable word ball.
And they would just kind of like try to heckle students into investigating the First Amendment, but I don't understand what the point of it was.
Wait, pause. The inflatable word ball? What is this?
Yeah, explain. We ain't done went to no school. We don't know these fancy words like you do. Okay? I don't know what this ball of words.
I dropped out, so forgive me.
I
am a big dumb dummy.
I don't know how to read. At Troy, the Students for Liberty, which was like a Koch-funded bullshit organization, had it, and it's a big, massive beach ball, and you got to write whatever you wanted to write on that ball. And I think somebody I think it got popped like every year, but like it literally was like you could go up and write anything. And when I mean anything, like you could write anything. Like obviously this dick's gonna get drawn on, but I bet if you look closely, there was some swastikas and some like racial shit on there, some racist shit on there.
What?
But like they had a free
No.
speech board too. And then you could do whatever on the free speech board. I'm just like, y'all need to just fucking chill. Tiffany, what are they doing at South Alabama?
So that's what it was. They were the libertarian students. They had the massive beach ball. That's what it was.
I swear to God, they're just diet fascists. Anyway, I'm gonna stop.
I don't know. It's so we had the beach ball pop up every couple years or so, and it didn't get popped, but they just unfortunately did not get the response they wanted. Since you mentioned the free speech boards that would pop around campus, South, for some reason, that's also been a point. Our little famous article from the national news, we had a student get arrested, a Black student get arrested temporarily for a terroristic threat using a free speech board. He wrote the lyrics to a Tyler, the Creator song on them. I think it was some, generic prompt like, how do you feel about South Alabama? And he wrote, what's the lyric? Kill people, burn shit, fuck school.
Kill people, burn shit, fuck school.
Kill people, burn shit, fuck school. All right, so I'm sure there was swastikas and shit on there, so those were okay. But as soon as you say kill people, burn shit, fuck school, oh no.
Those are just white boys being white boys. It's okay. They'll grow out of it eventually.
It's just a phase. Racism is just a phase.
It's just a phase. They'll grow out of it. It's not like, you just stop. You go from swastikas to drawing picture frames, y'all. They'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
Remember, you accidentally fall into the alt-right pipeline. You just trip.
Just boys being boys, college guys being college guys,
But it really is always the libertarian organizations that are like the incubators of like fascists. It's that they always are like, oh yeah, we're having a First Amendment day or a free speech ball, which like on the surface is like, all right, I mean, cool, whatever. But I don't have the words to describe, like they facilitate it. They don't care because they are. I bet if you took if there's a actual libertarian organization on campus and you did like an overlap, which like who's putting up this like fascist ideology, there's probably a good overlap because that's what it ended up being at Auburn. It turned out that a a lot of the people in the Students for Liberty libertarian organization in Auburn were also helping, if not members of this quote unquote white student union. And actually, apparently, allegedly, I forgot the person's name. But from what I was told is that the person who put on the quote unquote peaceful protest on the student quad was actually a member of the Students for Liberty organization parading as like a Democrat, and actually had like had like the ear of like Richard Spencer's people. And the whole idea was to get people away from where Spencer was, where Black Bloc, Antifa, and the Black Student Union were actively combating the fascists. And it was try to like, and then it was funny because the Black Student Union came through, was like, fuck all y'all, we're going to go fight these fascists. And we're going to head up with Antifa and Black Bloc because y'all are just being stupid, not doing shit. So we ended up all leaving and going and watching Nazis literally get the shit beat out of them at Auburn, which was pretty fun. But it's crazy that it's not crazy because they're diet fascists, but like libertarians just open the door and facilitate and like love to allow fascists into their fold.
Yeah, I feel like it's at least at South, and even with some faculty, whenever we get into discussions of politics, especially during election seasons, it's always I don't identify as a Republican, I identify as a libertarian. So I feel like it's I'm not like the other Republicans, I'm a libertarian. And then, it just trickles on down to just straight up fascism.
The instance in Scooby-Doo when they rip the mask off the bad guy? It's like, no, I'm a libertarian. You rip the mask away. I was a Republican all along.
And then you rip it off again. I'm a fascist. Tiffany, you bring up a good point. I wanted to ask you this directly. Like, do you okay, so I know you touched on earlier faculty support, but do you have any, because at Auburn they had faculty that were at least one, if I'm not mistaken, willing to sponsor, because for those who don't know, student organizations have to have a faculty sponsor, was willing to sponsor the white student union. Are there any faculty that are a little bit, a little bit eager to allow this free speech stuff, or maybe a little bit eager to like maybe sponsor something? I guess like what have you heard, or what do you know from like I guess individual faculty members? Are they mostly like against this? Are they like, that, whole centrist neutral thing? Oh, both sides. Well,
yeah, give us the
like,
tea. What's the tea?
Are there any that you know of that are like actively like, yeah, fascist rock?
Oh, our
basically,
faculty,
which one of your teachers is a racist? All right, that's what he wants to know.
Oh, I can spill that. I can spill that one.
Yeah, what was the name of the Autumnwaffen dude? Fuck him.
He's probably
if that
still
shit's public, fuck it.
His name is Charles Halliday. He's like this skinny, computer information systems guy.
That wouldn't be his name.
Let's see, his
Close to
username.
Hollandaise.
His username was Golgoth. I can read his email, his IP
Golgoth?
address. Yeah.
No way.
Real quick.
That's a racist band, by the way. Oh,
really?
Yeah, that's a racist black metal band.
Interesting.
Tiffany, real quick before just in case before Tommy may have to go back and edit some stuff. This is all public. Like it was doxed that this guy was a Nazi. Okay, cool. Fuck him.
Yeah, this was
I ain't
years
editing
later.
shit. Expose these motherfuckers.
You're right. Expose them. Mark's already over there with like a bat ready to just beat some ass. Like Mark's been looking disgusted this entire time.
Yeah.
Just wants to fight
Mark.
people. So.
Mark has those cadaver beetles. Mark is ready.
For the record, I didn't. I did not have cadaver beetles.
I know.
You see that skull in the door? That's actually a human skull that Mark shoved horns into while it was still alive.
Listen, Mark, we can take him and send him to that Chernobyl kitchen. Everything will be fine.
Right.
No one will know.
No one ever knows.
But Tiffany, tell us who the fascist guy is. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through. I have to use the Wayback Machine to actually find the pictures. His name's Charles Halliday. I'm not sure if he lives in Mobile anymore. He graduated from the School of Computing back in, I what is this, 2018. And he was supposed to pursue his master's, but to my knowledge did not.
It's the only thing I agree with him on.
Basically.
Don't ever go to grad school.
Fuck academia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to scroll through.
Kill people,
this.
fuck shit. Burn school.
But yeah, like essentially, like on his online activity, ever since he got leaked through the Iron March leak, he deleted most of his social media. I think there's one Facebook profile with nothing but his picture on it, and like a couple pictures of like Trump paintings.
If you can find his picture, I'll make that the thumbnail for the episode.
Wait, I can find one because it's like him doing his face like this with like some little, I don't know if this is supposed to be like a Jason mask or some weird skull looking shit. But I'll send it in like the Facebook.
It would be a skull because those fascists love skulls. And I hate that Nazis took skulls because they're cool. But no, now it's a fascist symbol.
For like the Punisher logo.
Yeah, that shit too. They took that shit too. The motherfuckers.
But yeah, it just shows like information of like his old IP address and mainly his school related information, which I mean, once you graduate is kind of obsolete, to be honest, unless you're trying to get like a discount for ice cream or something. But yeah,
But I guess what about faculty? Like, is there any like faculty that have been exposed as
kind of the same way as like these just murmurs, besides like the stickers and maybe murmurs of like the occasional frat boy, you know, moonlighting as a fascist or whatever. We had one incident maybe last spring, I believe, of a faculty member in the fine arts department. He would teach a module or a segment of a specific type of pottery, which they're typically heads of people, busts of people with very exaggerated features, right? And they explained the history of it related back to like its roots in the South with indigenous and African like influences. But his prime example of this type of art is the big bust of a Jewish figure with, you know, the large exaggerated nose and I can't remember the phrase that was etched on they were like Jewish numbers like etched onto the neck, I believe. And throughout the semester he would just refer back to this like big piece of like stereotypical Jewish like artwork. When
you like racist art a little bit too much, well, you shouldn't like it at all, but when you just like when your example is like literally an anti-Semitic trope,
right,
like what the fuck.
So he would keep that in his classroom and use that as like this prime example for that type of artwork. I had a student take a picture of it and DM it to me, and when I posted it online, I immediately had former faculty and members of our local arts community, all, you know, they were all white females, a part of the local like art scene, that immediately just DM'd me saying like, delete this, he's a good guy, you don't know your history, like educate yourself on fine art. It actually, you don't know your history. Black people.
They filled your inbox with white woman tears. Just don't delete it.
Yeah, they're like, black people did this first. You're gonna ruin this man's career. Like,
black people did what first? Racism?
Black people did anti-Semitism.
What?
That's right.
In what world?
then you have some black people that say we were the Israelites.
Yeah, the black Hebrew Israelites.
I thought we were the Hebrews. I don't know what to think anymore.
Yakub made white people. That's all we need to know is that we are a science project. Oh my God. They flooded your DMs and they were like, you're gonna ruin his career.
Like,
he's a good
besides
person.
just almost like these little
Cut out there. What was that? Hello?
Tiffany, you there?
Are you
Or
guys
did
there?
no,
Tiffany?
you cut out. What?
You cut out at the end of your sentence.
Yeah.
What happened?
You like got really choppy and like slow it down and cut out, but you're all good now.
Okay.
Like you pretty much stopped. It was like white people are science experiment.
Yakub, he heard. Yakub is our creator. He created all the albinoid people, us white people.
Is that some of that fucking Mormon shit you were sharing?
No, this is
for?
not, no. This is
Like he's Hebrew Israelites. We were the first people.
and the
God's
Hoteps.
chosen people.
Man, I don't know none of
Right.
that shit. I'm a fucking degenerate heathen. I don't understand. I'm stupid.
Yeah. Or like white people are less evolved. The black people came first and we invented algebra and the pyramids, and white people are still in
Well,
the caves.
that
and
is
shit.
true. That is 100% true. Black people did invent algebra. Well, no. No, algebra was invented by the Ottomans, but
Right.
black people invented geometry. We created
There we go.
geometry. Yes, that's right.
But yeah, apparently we were, working with the aliens and building the pyramids, and we were already like advanced, and they're just like eating frozen meat in the the caves. But,
Neanderthals.
Okay, but who is responsible for taxes? Because I have a word. I'd like to share with
That
them.
was
White people. That
was white people.
100% white.
that was
white. It is the official stance of this podcast that white skin is the mark of Cain. So that's a fact
That's
proven
true.
by science. Think about it. If let's just say real quick before we're going to tangent real quick before we go back into this, since we're talking about people who believe some bullshit race science, right? I'm going to throw out my own bullshit race science, but against white people. If the Abrahamic religions are true, and God told you that white skin was the mark of Cain, would you be shocked? Honestly, would you be shocked at everything we've done? Would you be shocked?
I plead the fifth.
Yeah, this can be edited out anyway, so it doesn't matter what I say.
My post grad interviews start popping up, and then they're like white people. All this pops up.
I'll be honest, given what I know of like my grandparents, my family history, I'm gonna say no. I would not be surprised. I'm like, yeah, that tracks.
I'm just saying. Illuminati. Y'all have any questions? I mean, I can think of some more, but like, does anyone else want to talk besides just me, the guy who looks like the people who are probably putting up the stickers? I hate that my aesthetic has been taken by those
Is
people.
racist? Yeah.
It's not my fault my hair fell out and I have no chin, so I have to grow a beard because I'm self-conscious.
Think about this. You're a bald white man who wears flannel, has a bunch of flags, ham radio, and you like
That's
stickers.
a crank radio.
But I don't drive a truck though, but I want one.
Yeah, and you like putting stickers and giving out stickers of a certain political agenda.
Oh fuck, Tommy, when you put it that way, you make a very convincing argument, Dr. Peterson. I mean Tommy.
Well, when you look at all the facts, you'll know that women aren't real, and
How we know? The
there's
facts
no
say
racism
that
in the
this is
world.
a racist aesthetic.
Anyway, I
You
have a real
shouldn't have
question.
to bake a cake for a gay couple.
Mark has a question.
Mark.
Oh, well, I wasn't going to interrupt Tommy, but
I'm
okay,
not
Nelson.
Tommy, I'm Jordan Peterson. The
I
world's
wasn't going to interrupt
greatest,
Kermit.
the world's greatest
Um,
scientist on the planet.
So, where I am, we have Berry College and Shorter College that have, like, we've had issues with those schools. But do you have any tips for maybe people with maybe community colleges that don't have anybody to network with that might have some helpful tips for them?
That's an interesting one. At least with the the way our community colleges are set up, they're either very urban or they're very rural. So unfortunately, most of that type of activity happens on the rural college campus.
Yeah,
Community
that's how
college
mine
campus.
is. Yeah.
So oftentimes the student organizations or even faculty-based organizations that are that deal with community colleges will contact those on major like four-year campuses. So it's kind of that connection between those two similar organizations, if that makes sense. Like here in Mobile with the Bishop State Community College, I believe they have a student NAACP, and they work very much hand in hand with our campus NAACP. So I would just say like connecting maybe more so with I guess four-year universities with more larger, I hate to say traditional because it's not even traditional anymore, campuses and a lot of online networks, because honestly, even though with here at the University of South Alabama and a couple other four-year institutions, most of us still have to network with students and often non-university related leftist organizations, especially in Birmingham and Selma and Montgomery, to get things done on campus. We had to connect with the group. I want to say it's Cell A61, A64. They're a group based in Hoover, Alabama, that are very pro-abolition police, very prominent during the BLM movement. Even now, we had to seek advice from their leadership when we were protesting, I guess, the appointment of Representative Bonner at our university. Just advice, sometimes even funding or just legal support, knowing that, students would get arrested simply for having a small demonstration on campus, especially when you connect it to the leftist organizations on campus. With that demonstration in particular, we advertised it and it got picked up by the local media, and I believe not even maybe 10 students showed up, but they had anywhere from 15 to 20 campus police cars surrounding the building. And this public appointment meeting was then suddenly held private and all internet feeds were cut off. So it's also interesting to seeing with, whether it's free speech rights or fascism or leftist activity on campus, that these small hubs of like university campuses or university towns are growingly like reflecting the same tactics used by like local police, with almost like this militarized information based approach to policing on campus. That's pretty interesting to me, at least.
Yeah, half of the I'm not sure if it was like a literature wing of the college I go to. I guess for funding reasons has turned into a police training wing. And so it's like weirdly just occupied by police for no reason. Like they'll just hang out and just stand like with their backs against the wall waiting for their classes, and it's very strange.
Mark, how far is that from UGA?
Pretty far.
Oh, okay.
Berry College and Shorter College are the big ones where I am. And Shorter is a private Christian college.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. They'll fire you for drinking, and they'll fire you for supporting LGBT students and stuff like that.
I was wondering because I know people personally that were pretty radical at UGA, so they could probably help. But If it's that far away, then no.
No. And then Berry College is named after Martha Berry and has a big agricultural program. And so it's like half leftists who are trying to be veterinarians and then half people who are trying to get like a degree in order to own their own farm who tend like, yeah.
Yikes. Oh man. What is it? Faulkner University here is a Christian college, and they're having they had Mike Pence come speak. They had
Ben Trump.
Don Jr. No,
yeah,
Don
Jr. Yeah.
Who are they having? They're having somebody controversial. Another
They had who's the attorney general from Alabama? Who was that guy?
Oh, Jeff Sessions.
Jeff Sessions, he spoke there. A lot of major Republican figures come through either Huntington or Faulkner.
Candace Owens. That's who's coming.
Oh God, Candace Owens is coming to Faulkner.
Yeah.
Ooh, can we get in that?
Yes.
Oh,
we're getting press passes and we're going.
Dude, I love me some Candace Owens. Ain't nothing like a coon on stage to get my blood going. I swear. Oh, I love it.
Did you see where she quoted? Where she tweeted about enjoying the halftime show and everyone shitted on her?
Yeah, she was too black for her audience. They were like, no, ma'am, we will not support this rap, this hippity hop music. We will not do that. You are a white black woman, and you will maintain your white black womanhood.
Real quick to kind of bring it back to the topic at hand. So I did want to ask you a question, Tiffany. So inevitably, someone's going to hear what you're talking about and everything with your experiences with college and everything like that. And inevitably, there's going to be like one or two people who are going to go, well, why don't you just go somewhere else? Why don't you just go to another college or go, move out of state and whatnot? What would you have to say to somebody who poses that question?
For me, it's almost the same reason of not leaving Alabama or the South yet, as far as engaging with like social justice work or movement work. How do I put this? That's a good question. I shouldn't, due to like the environment on campus, I shouldn't have to be the one to leave, especially if I'm, as a student of color and a local student, if I'm the one investing my money, taking out loans, putting myself potentially in financial ruin just to attend this university, I'm not going to let, a couple of wannabe fascists, nasally neckbeards,
Crackers.
Crackers.
Yeah,
those damn crackers.
I would assume it's like when white people, tell you to go. If you like communism so much, why don't you go live in Vuvuzuela? Like,
why don't you move to California?
Vuvuzela.
Go to Vuvuzuela.
For someone who likes communism, why you got iPhone?
Yeah, I mean, like, even though the school has issues and America has issues, it's not that I want to leave America, even though I do, but it's about making the place that you love a much better and tolerable place to live. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm proud to be an American. It just starts playing them because Tommy,
California, things will be so much better.
Tommy was getting really sentimental there, and just like in the background, you see, "Proud to be an American." Getting high.
Well, I get lynched in a tree.
Fucking Christ.
I mean, South already has the nooses set up, so.
Oh shit!
There you go. I just hop on in. Oh, I suicided myself. Oh.
I get a noose, a Bible, and a T-shirt free with tuition.
Oh my God!
I went to this college and all I got was a stupid noose.
That's your welcome pack.
I got Tiffany. You should make a shirt that says, "I took out student loans and all I got was a hate crime."
Too real. Go back.
the most expensive hate crime ever. 50 grand for this shit.
0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Oh man. So no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, all in all, though, there, despite the bullshit on campus that often is endorsed by faculty to an extent, administration, excuse me, to an extent, there's still, a significant community of students of color. Our LGBT organizations also called Spectrum, so there's still a good chunk of students and faculty on campus that are actively trying to improve the conditions, not only for us living and working and studying on campus, but beyond, with legislature, and hopefully, even now, a lot of us have tried to start mutual aid networks on campus outside of the university system. That's been a big thing. Student organizations have been trying to reappropriate university funding to personal mutual aid networks, since we cannot privately give funding to individual students. So we're trying. I'll say like that.
So that leads me to my next question. What can we do to help? Like, what can people listening, and what can people do to help combat fascism at South Alabama?
Kill people, burn shit, fuck
school.
That's right.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Praise hail, praise hail.
Yonkers starts playing in the background.
Essentially.
Wolf Gang.
Golf Wang.
Golf Wang. Wolf Haley Robinson.
At the moment, I would just say, if there's anybody that's familiar with the South Alabama system and student network, I would say follow the UofSA College Democrats on social media. We're doing a huge reform as far as the student organization, because we also, along with the College Republicans, have been booted out of the organization network.
What?
Yeah, both organizations, after this this past election cycle, just got booted out.
We all too radical. Was that what happened?
That too. I feel like the College Democrats have gotten the police called on us more than anyone else, but that's just me for the fact.
There are blacks over there congregating. Watch out. Call 911. I see a group of blacks congregating.
I do want to say, before anyone listening, there's going to be some ultra listening. It's meh, Democrats. Look, hey, Tiffany, when we were messaging, you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, it'd be great to be the campus communist. But if you go around in the South, especially in South Alabama or anywhere in the South, saying college. We're campus communists, you're not going to get far. So you work with the organization that you can, and just because the name is College Democrat doesn't mean that the people in the organization are not radically anti-fascist.
Exactly. Most of our previous student leadership wanted to convert the organization to a kind of a stepping stone, a student democratic socialist organization, but kind of, again, that may not work too much because, people love to get hooked on terminology.
There's a YDSA, so Young DSA is mostly for colleges or anything like yes, that's the only official one that I know of. But I feel you. I mean, I think what y'all are doing are great. Fuck the name. Who gives a shit as long as you're beating back fascism?
Right.
I do have a question now that I'm not eating chicken wings. So, and I don't know, how long have you been at this school?
I've been here since 2018. I am officially a super senior, so I'll be in this hellhole a little longer.
Well, I wanted to ask you, in your personal opinion, I don't know if there's data on this or not, which I doubt, but in your personal opinion, have these anti-fascist movements ramped up? Have you seen an increase in people joining, or have you seen a decrease, or has it stayed about the same?
say an increase again. We haven't had anything as apparent as, any outward threats of violence towards student or faculty. That's pretty much been the biggest reason why they get to fly under the radar as far as online recruitment and the posting of propaganda. Our university, through many reports, has replied saying that unless there is a direct, nearly named, threat of violence against a person, their bodily harm, they cannot do anything regarding hate speech or fascism or any form of hate on campus. But yeah, I would definitely say in probably like the past 2 years, it's increased. I feel like the first 2 years were a lot of, frat boy antics with, drawing dicks and swastikas around campus and people's offices and stuff and hanging nooses. But now it's much more like active recruitment. Even now, certain student organizations or student leaders often have, I hate to use the word infiltrator, but, spies kind of like placed in meetings from either more right-leaning political student organizations or private groups to just essentially sit in on meetings. And it's very obvious, they don't verbally communicate besides just hello, and then they'll just sit there and record the meetings the whole time. And then, it's obvious through either online activity or just seeing them affiliated with certain groups. So that's even happened to us in the past.
That happened at Auburn. That happened in Auburn with a socialist organization we were trying to start up back in the day. And like literally they were like, yeah, campus Republican people came in, just like sat in the back and just introduced themselves and then like left afterwards, or like Baptist campus ministry people came. So yeah,
that's what happened in our past meeting, which for the college Democrats, we were just doing almost administrative stuff, and we had a member of the college Republicans, their one Black member. They sent him to sit in on our meeting, and we, we're trying to have a conversation with him, and he just very,
all right.
He's like, I'm just here. He's like, hi, my name's, I'm not gonna say his name.
My name is Bryant.
Yeah, my name is
Bryant. I'm just here.
Ronald.
I like the socialism.
Ronald.
I like equal rights.
And I hate to stereotype these students, because I'm sure they do the same thing with us, even though we might not all be like blue-haired fine arts majors. But surprisingly, a lot of these students who get doxxed or leaked for being connected to fascist organizations or just in the college Republicans and then the libertarian movement, they're always overwhelmingly either business majors or political science majors. So I'm like, yes, future capitalists.
Oh, the entire the podcast, I just want to go ahead and it's fake. This is a psyop. I'm actually a Republican. This whole thing was
who would have thought? The man with all the flags and stickers. Oh wow!
The bald white political science guy. Yeah,
Oh.
This is a total conservative psyop. It's got a list of people. Now the Discord is basically just a massive doxing effort. So yeah, just it's definitely true.
Fun fact: my major in college, when I was going to college, was accounting and business.
They're all accounting majors.
Oh.
And now I cannot wait for the fall of capitalism. Just FYI. That alone was enough to just make me want to rip my fucking eyeballs out. Sitting there in class and listening to my classmates and how they talk and how they view, like, not just the economy, just the world in general. It's like, you're all garbage. The teacher was garbage. The classmates were garbage. This is awful. I don't want this to be my profession. Why did I do this?
Gabbage. As Tyler would say, they never should have let us off the Caucasus Mountains. All right, Tiffany. where can people find you? Or like, I mean, I don't know if you want to give out
That's
any.
really weird. Where can the racists who listen to this find you? What's your dorm number?
Where can my
you
IP
live?
address be leaked?
Can you provide us with some personal identifying
What's your
information,
social
please?
security number? What's the number on the back of your debit card? I guess where could people find public stuff online that you wouldn't mind people seeing? Like if the college Democrats have a Twitter or anything like that. Like what's social media?
Right.
Where can people help? I guess the good people find you.
So for the USA College Democrats, our socials are going to be South A Dems. That's going to be Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, I believe. And I would say this is my personal. I am a co-director of a nonprofit here in Mobile. It's currently named Black Empowerment Team. So you can find our Instagram and Facebook at Black Empowerment Team 251. We do a lot of work related to the South Alabama University system, related to the support and upliftment of communities against systemic abuse. We do a lot of work related to food justice, housing justice, socioeconomic issues primarily related to the Black community in Mobile, as well as the Black LGBT community. So got a lot going on over there. And that used to be my account where I would just straight up just dox. Not addresses, I'm not that foul, but expose racist students and faculty. But I had to get the password taken away, so. I've been put in the naughty corner.
You were doing too much.
But yeah, that's where you can find a lot of the work I do.
Real quick before we sign off, since you're in Mobile, the home of Mardi Gras, the original Mardi Gras.
Yes.
Did you have a fun Mardi Gras?
I did. There weren't as many the meth activity we have. That's our drug of choice down here for Mardi Gras, meth specifically. We drink beer all year, but Mardi Gras is the one.
Who wants to get fucked up on meth for Mardi Gras?
Yeah, you can keep partying.
That is Mobile's drug of choice for Mardi Gras.
Did Tyler start Mardi Gras? Mobile? What is going on?
Racist parade clubs.
Yeah.
And meth.
Oh, and the highlight to Mardi Gras, here in Mobile on Fat Tuesday, we have they're called the Comic Cowboys. So they roll through the streets with often racist and transphobic comics,
So like Louis C.K. and some other people in there.
Yeah, it's
like every today right now.
Kramer was there. Louis C.K. All the kids.
One moment you're catching moon pies and beads, and then the next moment you're reading comics about tranny athletes and Black politicians. So Mobile is.
Goodness.
We have that. We did it first. That's all I can say.
It's fair and balanced.
We did it first.
Oh man. All right, y'all. Well, at Dixieland, the proletariat, we leave the South to rise again, but this time for the right reasons.
Racism.
Let's be worker means of production, decolonization, self-determination for all oppressed peoples. Make sure to click on our link tree in the show notes to find all our social media. And don't forget that every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and fuck you Mountain Time, you'll find us at Uncle Tommy's Twitch Cabin, where we stream react content and play games with our fans. We are coming to you from the birthplace of civil rights movement, Montgomery, Alabama, Sweet Georgia, and temporarily Florida. We would like to recognize that we're recording on occupied land that rightfully belongs to the Muskogee Nation, the Cherokee Nation, and the Seminole Nation. Tiffany, thank you so much for coming on. As always, fascists can go straight to hell. Yeah. I hope y'all win. I hope y'all kick them off campus. And if you ever need any actual muscle, Mark will be glad to show up with a baseball bat.
And
Like,
the cadaver beetles.
And the cadaver
Right.
beetles. And you'll never ever find the bodies.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
I
So
got you.
Tyler couldn't make it. So Mark, you're up.
All right. Well, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll see y'all next time.
Hell yeah.
That was beautiful.
All right. Thanks,
And
guys.
here's where
Yeah, it was
Tommy
nice meeting you.
Tommy leaves it, recording awkwardly. So we can't really
Forever.